So here you are. I've been waiting for you, watching the choices, the turns, the quiet pauses between what you think are ordinary moments. You've grown in ways I couldn't have imagined. You carry both light and fatigue in your eyes. You move through the world with a strange mix of faith and fear, holding on and letting go at the same time. You think I don't see it, but I do. I always have. It's me. The part of you that still remembers what it was like before the world told you who to be. The part that once believed anything was possible before the noise, before the doubt, before the conditioning that said you had to earn what was already yours. I used to look forward and wonder who I'd become, whether all the dreams would survive the growing up. And now I see you, still standing, still trying, still breathing through everything life has handed you. And that means something. It means you kept the spark alive. Even when you thought it was gone, it was only hiding, waiting for you to remember. I remember the days when you would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, asking the same questions over and over. What am I supposed to do? Who am I supposed to be? Why does it feel like I'm running out of time? You thought those questions were weakness. You thought not knowing meant you were behind. But they were the signs that something in you refused to settle for less than truth. You were searching for meaning in a world that tells you to just cope. You were looking for alignment when everyone else was chasing approval. And now standing here, you've become what I once prayed for. Not perfect, not finished, but aware, awake. Aware enough to notice the patterns. Awake enough to know you don't have to keep repeating them. That's evolution. That's what growth actually looks like. It's messy. It's confusing. It's real. You've always had this sense that there's more happening beneath the surface. That your thoughts, your emotions, your focus, they aren't random. That maybe they shape things. You felt it when you think of someone and they call San. When you imagine a possibility and the path suddenly appears. That's not coincidence. That's creation. That's the field responding to your frequency. You were never taught how powerful your consciousness is because the world benefits when you forget. It benefits when you think you're just reacting instead of creating. But you've never been a reactor. You've always been a generator. You've always been the one forming meaning from chaos. Every emotion, every decision, every heartbeat has been broadcasting something. And the universe listens. It always listens. Not to what you say, but to what you believe. And I can see that belief shifting in you now. Subtle, quiet, but it's there. A new signal forming underneath all the old noise. I know you get tired. Tired of pretending to be okay. Tired of trying to explain what you feel to people who aren't ready to hear it. Tired of chasing goals that don't fill you. You wonder if there's something wrong with you, because you can't find peace in what everyone else seems to want. But there's nothing wrong with you. You're just awakening to the truth that fulfillment doesn't come from external validation. It comes from coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions align with your inner knowing, that's when energy flows. That's when reality shifts. That's when manifestation stops being a concept and becomes a state of being. You've been trying to attract things from a place of lack, not realizing that lack can't create abundance. But you're learning. You're remembering. You're starting to see that creation begins with wholeness, not emptiness. You think you've made too many mistakes. You think you've wasted time, but the truth is, everything you've lived was preparation. Every wrong turn was a redirection. Every heartbreak was an opening. Every loss was an invitation. You thought you were breaking, but you were actually clearing space, making room for alignment, making room for truth. Nothing has been wasted. Not one tear, not one moment. It all shaped the frequency you're transmitting now. The frequency of someone who has fallen and risen, questioned and listened, doubted and still believed. That frequency is power. That's what the field responds to. Not perfection, not positivity for show, but authenticity. Raw, honest authenticity. The kind that comes when you finally stop pretending and start listening. Listening to the part of you that knows. The part that remembers who you really are. You keep searching for signs. You keep asking for proof. But the signs are everywhere. In the timing, in the coincidences, in the people who show up just when you need them. The proof has never been missing, you just forgot how to see it. The universe speaks in resonance, not logic. It speaks in energy, not language. And right now it's trying to tell you that you're closer than you think. That all the effort, all the lessons, all the waiting, it's aligning. It's not punishment, it's precision. You were never being delayed. You were being calibrated, so you could hold the frequency of what you've been asking for without collapsing back into fear. So you could handle what's coming without losing yourself again. That's why things took time. Not because you weren't ready to receive, but because you were being shaped to sustain. I can see it in you. The tension between who you've been and who you're becoming. It's uncomfortable, I know. Growth always is. It's the in-between space where everything familiar starts to dissolve, but the new hasn't fully arrived. That's the moment most people quit. That's the moment most people run back to safety. But not you. You're staying. You're allowing. You're learning to breathe through uncertainty instead of fighting it. That's transformation. Not the instant kind that social media sells, but the quiet kind that rewires reality from the inside out. The kind that changes your frequency permanently. You think you're just surviving, but you're actually expanding. And I need you to remember this. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not broken. You are becoming. Every version of you that ever doubted that truth still lives inside you, watching, waiting, cheering you on. Every version of you that cried, that fell, that felt lost, they are all pieces of the same consciousness, aligning now in coherence. You are their proof. You are their miracle, and they are your foundation. They're the reason you can hold more light now, the reason you can manifest from love instead of fear, the reason you can see possibility where there used to be limitation. You are not who you were. You are not who you will be. You are everything meeting itself in this moment. And this moment right here is where creation happens. Not in the past, not in the future, but in the awareness that you are the observer, the energy, the source. Always have been. Always will be, so keep going, keep trusting, keep aligning. The field is listening, and your younger self is watching, smiling, whispering, finally. You remembered. You keep wondering why certain things still repeat, why you find yourself in the same patterns, facing the same emotions no matter how much you grow. It's not because you're cursed. It's not because you failed. It's because the energy that shaped those patterns hasn't been fully seen yet. Awareness is what transforms energy. When you look at something with judgment, you trap it. When you look at it with compassion, you free it. That's how transformation really works. Not through force, not through pretending to be positive, but through awareness that sees without rejection. You can't shift what you still shame. You can only shift what you accept. And every time you choose understanding over self-blame, you shift your entire field. The smallest act of self-acceptance sends a ripple through the quantum fabric of your life. You think it's just a thought, but it's a vibration. You think it's just forgiveness, but it's frequency work. You've been told that manifestation is about visualizing hard enough or staying happy all the time. But that's not how energy works. The universe doesn't respond to your pretending. It responds to your truth. The real question isn't what you want, it's what you're a match to. You can say you want abundance, but if your energy carries the imprint of lack, the field can only reflect that. You can say you want love, but if your vibration still echoes unworthiness, the universe mirrors it back to help you see it. Not to punish you, but to awaken you. The universe is always communicating, always mirroring. Every situation, every emotion, every delay is a message about your frequency. Once you understand that, you stop feeling like life is happening to you and start realizing it's happening through you. You become a conscious participant instead of an unconscious reactor. You start using your energy as a language, not just a feeling. Everything is vibration. Every thought emits a frequency. Every emotion sends a signal. And your dominant frequency becomes your personal reality. That's why you can't fake alignment. You can speak affirmations all day, but if the emotion behind them contradicts the words, the field reads the emotion, not the phrase. Energy doesn't lie. The moment you realize that, you stop trying to manipulate the outer world and start tending to your inner one. You stop chasing outcomes and start calibrating your state. You stop forcing things and start aligning with them. And that's when life starts to rearrange itself around you. Not because you worked harder, but because you stopped resisting what was trying to find you. There's something important you need to understand about energy. It's neutral until you assign it meaning. When something happens, your interpretation determines the frequency it takes on. You decide if it's rejection or redirection. You decide if it's failure or feedback. You decide if it's loss or liberation. Meaning is everything. Because meaning shapes emotion, and emotion shapes vibration, and vibration shapes reality. You are the translator between energy and experience. That's what it means to be a conscious creator. Not controlling the world, but directing the meaning you give it. You've been doing this your entire life without realizing it. Every belief you hold is a lens through which you bend light into form. And the moment you change that belief, you change the shape of what you see. You've probably felt moments when time seemed to slow down, when everything aligned effortlessly, when you were in flow. That's coherence. That's when your body, mind, and energy move in harmony. You can feel it. It's the calm clarity that comes when you stop overthinking and start trusting. In coherence, you're not trying to manifest. You're allowing. You're not chasing. You're receiving. You're not asking. You're remembering. Because everything you're seeking already exists as frequency. You don't have to create it. You just have to tune to it. The same way a radio doesn't create music, it just finds the station. You don't have to build your dream reality from scratch. You align with the version of you that already lives there. And the way you do that is by releasing what vibrates lower than your truth. You hold on to emotions thinking they protect you. You hold on to pain thinking it defines you. But energy that isn't expressed becomes resistance. It slows your frequency. It keeps you replaying realities you've already outgrown. That's why release isn't weakness. It's strength. Letting go isn't losing. It's returning to your natural state. When you stop carrying what's heavy, you rise. You don't have to fight to ascend. You just have to stop clinging to what's sinking. The universe doesn't demand perfection. It only asks for honesty. If you're angry, feel it. If you're sad, allow it. Energy doesn't move through repression. It moves through permission. Once it's felt fully, it frees you. Every emotion you process becomes pure energy again. Every frequency you integrate becomes power you can direct. That's how you transmute pain into presence. That's how you become magnetic. Your younger self has always known this on some level. That's why you used to daydream so vividly. That's why you could imagine whole worlds into being without doubting their possibility. You were practicing quantum manifestation before you had language for it. You were shaping timelines with your imagination, and you still can. That skill never left you. You just stopped trusting it. You traded imagination for logic because you thought logic made you safe. But logic can only recreate what's already been done. Imagination opens the door to what's never existed. Every time you picture a new possibility and feel it as real, you collapse a wave of potential into form. You make the unseen visible. That's not fantasy. That's physics. That's consciousness interacting with energy. And you do it every day whether you realize it or not. So now I'm asking you to become intentional with that power, to start imagining again, not as an escape but as creation. To use your focus like a laser, not on what's missing but on what's becoming. To stop feeding fear with attention and start nourishing faith with awareness. Because what you focus on expands. Always, when you focus on lack, you grow lack. When you focus on gratitude, you grow abundance. When you focus on alignment, you grow manifestation. The field doesn't judge, it just reflects. That's the beauty and the responsibility of being conscious. You can't control everything, but you can influence anything. You can shift timelines with a single decision. You can rewrite patterns with a single realization. You can change everything the moment you stop seeing yourself as separate from the source that creates. Every time you choose to believe something new, you open a portal. Every time you release an old emotion, you free trapped energy. Every time you act from your highest truth instead of your fear, you raise your frequency. And that frequency shift doesn't just change you. It changes the entire field around you. People respond differently. Opportunities appear. Synchronicities multiply. You start living in a rhythm that feels guided. Not because luck suddenly found you, but because you stopped resisting what was already yours. Alignment isn't about chasing outcomes. It's about becoming the version of you that doesn't need to chase. The one who knows that energy always rearranges to meet awareness. And that's where you are now. Standing at the edge of an old frequency, feeling the pull of something higher. You can sense it, can't you? That quiet knowing that life is about to shift, that something is aligning behind the scenes. Don't question it. Don't analyze it. Just stay open. The universe moves fastest when you stop trying to manage the timing. Your job isn't to control. It's to allow, to stay coherent, to stay aware, to stay in the vibration of possibility, because the field is responding to your every signal. And right now it's saying you're ready. Ready to receive what matches who you've become. Ready to step into the version of reality that's been waiting for you all along. You don't have to figure it out. You just have to feel it. The alignment, the expansion, the quiet certainty that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. The universe speaks in frequency, and you've finally tuned in. Stay here, keep listening. You're rewriting reality one vibration at a time. You've been taught to chase outcomes, to make lists, set goals, plan steps, and measure progress. To move faster, work harder, prove yourself endlessly. You believed if you could just achieve enough, you would finally feel worthy. But worth doesn't live at the end of a checklist. Worth is a frequency. It's a state of being that already exists inside you, waiting to be remembered. The universe doesn't respond to effort. It responds to energy. You've been trying to become what you already are, and that's why it's been exhausting. The moment you stop striving to earn what's already yours, you begin to receive it effortlessly. That's the paradox. You manifest more when you stop chasing and start aligning. You are not who you were yesterday, and you're not who you thought you needed to be. You are who you decide to be in this moment. Identity isn't fixed. It's fluid. It's vibration. Every belief you hold about yourself is a signal, and that signal shapes the reality you live. The version of you that doubts, hesitates, or plays small still exists, but so does the version of you that leads, trusts, and creates from calm certainty. They are both you. The difference is which frequency you're broadcasting right now. The field doesn't care about your past. It only responds to your present signal. When you shift how you see yourself, everything shifts around you. Reality organizes itself around identity. You've spent years asking for signs. You wanted proof that things would work out. You wanted guarantees before you risked believing. But that's not how energy works. Belief is the key that unlocks evidence. Faith opens the door, not the other way around. The quantum field waits for you to decide before it reveals what's next. You are the initiator. You move first. You send the signal. You create the momentum. Waiting for proof is the same as broadcasting uncertainty. You don't receive what you want. You receive what you're certain of. The moment you decide it's already done, reality begins to rearrange to match that certainty. Not because magic happened outside you, but because coherence happened within you. Every time you doubt yourself, remember this. Doubt is not truth. It's a pattern. It's energy left over from when you were told your dreams were too big or your voice was too loud. It's the echo of old fear trying to convince you it's still relevant. But fear is just energy looking for attention. When you face it, it transforms. When you avoid it, it multiplies. So the next time you feel it rise, breathe. Don't resist. Don't label it wrong. Just watch it move through you. Energy wants to flow. It only hurts when you block it. The moment you stop fighting what you feel, you stop feeding what limits you. That's the shift that turns emotion into power. That's how you become emotionally free. There's a version of you waiting beyond the noise. A version that isn't defined by what went wrong or who left. They don't need to prove anything. They don't need to rush. They live in alignment. They trust their timing. They act when inspired and rest when needed. They know that energy doesn't respond to pressure, but to permission. That version of you is not imaginary. They are real. They exist in a timeline that already vibrates at your highest frequency. And you connect with them by thinking less and feeling more. By dropping the story and tuning into the vibration. By asking yourself, what would this version of me feel like right now? Not what would they do, but what would they feel? Then let that feeling guide you. That's how you shift realities. The secret is not doing more. The secret is becoming more coherent. The more aligned your thoughts, emotions, and energy are, the faster reality mirrors that alignment. When you're scattered, life feels scattered. When you're centered, life flows. When you're grateful, the universe multiplies what you're grateful for. Coherence creates clarity. Clarity amplifies creation. Every morning you wake up, you have a choice. You can repeat the vibration of yesterday, or you can broadcast something new. The moment you choose new, you break the loop. You create space for a different outcome. That's not wishful thinking. That's physics. Frequency follows focus. You've carried guilt for things that no longer need your punishment. You've replayed old conversations trying to fix what can't be undone. But what if it was never about fixing? What if the lesson wasn't about what you lost, but about what you gained in awareness? Every version of you that existed was doing the best they could with the consciousness they had at the time. You don't need to keep resenting them. You can thank them. Thank them for surviving, for trying, for moving even when they didn't understand. Forgiveness isn't saying it was okay. Forgiveness is saying it happened, and I release it now. Because when you hold on to the past, your energy stays anchored there, and you can't manifest the future from a frequency that's tied to yesterday. Letting go isn't weakness. It's liberation. You've probably noticed that when you stop overthinking, the right opportunities appear. When you stop forcing, things unfold. That's because control is resistance in disguise. It's the mind's way of trying to manage what only energy can move. You don't need control when you have alignment. You don't need certainty when you have trust. The more you surrender to the flow, the more the flow supports you. That's why surrender isn't giving up. It's tuning in. It's saying I'm available for what matches my truth, and I release what doesn't. That statement alone changes your entire vibration. Because the moment you stop fighting reality, reality stops fighting you. You enter the frequency of ease, and ease is magnetic. You've spent so long trying to become someone others would understand, but understanding is not your purpose. Expansion is, you were never meant to fit, you were meant to evolve, to show others what's possible when you stop shrinking for acceptance. The people who misunderstand you are simply vibrating at a different frequency. It's not personal, it's energetic. You don't have to convince anyone. You don't have to explain your path. You just have to walk it. The ones meant to align will feel your frequency and rise to meet it. The rest will fall away naturally. That's how the field cleans itself. That's how the universe makes space for what's next. And when you start living from that awareness, everything changes. You begin to trust the timing of your life. You begin to see delays as alignment rather than rejection. You begin to understand that nothing is random. Every pause, every setback, every silence carries purpose. The universe doesn't waste energy. If something hasn't shown up yet, it's not because it's missing. It's because the frequency of it is still aligning with you. That's not punishment. That's precision. You are being prepared to hold what you've asked for, to sustain it, to embody it, to become it. Because manifestation isn't about getting more. It's about becoming more. It's not about what you attract. It's about what you're aligned to hold. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only now, and now is enough. Every time you anchor into the present, you bring your power back from the past and pull your focus back from the future. You become whole again. And wholeness is the highest frequency there is. That's where creation happens. That's where miracles live, not in wishing, in awareness, in this breath, in this moment. Right here, right now, you have everything you need to create everything you want, because you are not separate from creation. You are creation itself. You've reached the point where you don't need to keep asking how. You already know. The answers were never outside of you. They were always waiting in the stillness. The only thing that ever blocked them was noise. The noise of doubt. The noise of hurry. The noise of trying to earn what was already yours. You don't need to chase alignment. You are alignment when you stop pretending to be anything else. When you stop trying to become more and start allowing yourself to be here, fully, completely, honestly. The universe meets you in that honesty. It always has. It was never testing you. It was mirroring you. It was waiting for you to see what it has seen all along. That you are not separate from the energy that creates worlds. You are it in motion. You have it remembering itself through the act of being human. You've been conditioned to believe you must fix yourself before you can receive. That healing means something is wrong, but healing is just remembering your wholeness. It's not about changing what you are. It's about releasing what you are not. Every time you let go of an identity that doesn't fit anymore, you return closer to your natural vibration. You've done that again and again. Through heartbreaks, endings, and rebirths, you've been peeling back layers of protection, defense, expectation. You've been clearing the static between you and truth. That's why things have felt heavy, because you've been dissolving what was never yours to carry. The pain wasn't punishment. It was purification. It was the energy that needed to move so you could expand. Now you are here, aware, conscious, ready. You've reached the point where your thoughts no longer control you. You witness them now. You know you are not them. You are the awareness behind them. You are the observer, the presence, the field. That's the real you, the one that doesn't collapse under pressure because it knows pressure is temporary. The one that doesn't beg for signs because it knows it is the sign. The one that doesn't chase outcomes because it knows everything already exists as frequency. You've been the creator all along, and the universe has been matching you perfectly. Every limitation you believed, it mirrored. Every expansion you embodied, it reflected. Every doubt, every fear, every act of faith mirrored exactly. The field doesn't judge. It listens. It responds. It rearranges itself according to your vibration. So here's the invitation. Stop asking if it's working. Start declaring that it is. Start speaking from the version of you that already knows. Not in arrogance, but in awareness. Say it softly if you must, but say it with certainty. I am ready. I am aligned. I am already living the life I used to dream of. Feel those words as energy, not just sound. Let them travel through you. Let them reprogram the cells that once held fear. Because every thought that carries emotion becomes a signal. Every signal alters the field. Every altered field shifts matter. That's how consciousness becomes physical. That's how energy becomes life. You've done this before without realizing it. Now you're doing it consciously. That's the difference between living by default and living by design. There is no waiting for the right time anymore. This is the right time. There is no waiting for permission. You are permission. Every time you honor what feels right, you activate a new reality. Every time you choose peace instead of panic, love instead of fear, patience instead of force, you shift worlds. You might not see it immediately, but the field does. The field always responds first before form catches up. So stay consistent with your energy. Stay coherent in your focus. Stay loyal to the version of you that already has what you desire, because that version is real. They already exist. Every time you match their frequency, you become them. Every time you act as if it's already done, you bridge the gap between thought and form. You collapse the distance between wishing and living. You are entering a phase of creation where everything will move faster. Not because time changed, but because your resistance is gone. You're not chasing anymore. You're aligning. You're not forcing anymore. You're allowing. You're not hoping anymore. You're knowing. And in that knowing, everything flows. People will start appearing in your life who match your new energy. Opportunities will form out of what used to be silence. Things that once felt impossible will start to feel natural. You'll wonder why it all feels so easy. But ease is not a miracle. Ease is your natural state. You only forgot what it felt like because struggle became familiar. But now you're remembering. You're remembering how to live from trust instead of tension, from faith instead of fear, from flow instead of force. And as you live this way, something inside you will settle. That constant restlessness, that endless searching, it will soften. You'll stop looking for the next thing to fix. You'll stop asking what's next. You'll start appreciating what's now. You'll start seeing how every breath is already proof that life loves you. You'll realize that you don't need more to feel full. That manifestation was never about attracting more things. It was about remembering more truth. The truth that abundance is not something you find. It's something you feel. The truth that love isn't something you earn. It's something you are. The truth that purpose isn't something you chase. It's something you live. Every time you show up as your most authentic self. So if you do one thing from this moment forward, let it be this. Stop running from your own energy. Sit with it. Feel it. Trust it. You've spent your whole life trying to reach a future version of yourself. But that version isn't ahead of you. They're inside you. They've been guiding you through intuition, through synchronicities, through whispers, in moments of stillness. You've been them all along. You just needed to remember. You just needed to stop doubting what you feel. Because what you feel is your compass. And your compass never lies. The more you follow it, the more aligned your reality becomes. The more aligned you become, the more magnetic your energy is. And the more magnetic you are, the less you need to chase. Because what's meant for you can finally find you when you stop hiding behind fear. You don't need to fix your life. You need to tune your frequency. Everything else will follow. The universe is a mirror. It doesn't decide. It reflects. It doesn't withhold, it aligns. So if you want to change what you see, change what you send. If you want to experience peace, emit peace. If you want to experience love, broadcast love. If you want to experience abundance, radiate gratitude. Not performatively, but truthfully, because energy doesn't respond to performance. It responds to presence. When you become present, you become powerful. When you become powerful, you become peaceful. And that peace is what you've been searching for all along. So take a breath. Feel where you are right now. This is the point of power. This is the moment your younger self dreamed of reaching. They wanted to know it was possible. They wanted to know it would all mean something. And it does. You are their proof. You are their answered prayer. You are the living evidence that energy transforms, that growth happens, that consciousness creates. They can finally rest now because you remembered. And as you breathe into that truth, something else awakens. The knowing that you are not done, that this is not the end. It's a new beginning, a new timeline, a new frequency, one where you no longer wait for miracles. You become one. You are the manifestation. You are the message. You are the field made visible, and you have always been enough.